After 2 decades at Red Bull, a reign that saw 8 drivers' championships and 6 constructors' titles, Christian Horner was voted out as team principal of Red Bull Racing. The official reason? Underwhelming performance. But in the Machiavellian world of Formula One, the official story is rarely the whole story. His exit followed a year of unprecedented internal turmoil, a public scandal, high-profile resignations, and a bitter, exposed power struggle. And at the heart of it all, a compelling and explosive theory has emerged, that this was not just a corporate decision, but the result of a high-stakes power play, an ultimatum delivered by the most powerful man in the organization, their 4-time world champion, Max Verstappen. This is the story of how a driver, by openly courting a rival team, may have forced his own team to choose between him and their iconic leader. It's a deep dive into the complex web of contractual leverage, internal politics, and strategic maneuvering that led to the fall of a dynasty's architect. Did Max Verstappen's flirtation with Mercedes force Christian Horner out of Red Bull? We will prove this theory in this video. Subscribe to the channel. Welcome to Front Lockout. Chapter 1. The Contract and the Courtship. To understand the power Max Verstappen wielded, you have to start with his contract. On the surface, it was an ironclad long-term deal tying him to Red Bull until the end of 2028, but buried in the legalese were various exit clauses. Christian Horner himself inadvertently confirmed the most critical one, a performance clause. If Verstappen was not in the top 3 of the Drivers' Championship by the summer break, he was free to leave. At the time of Christian's sacking, Verstappen was 3rd, well behind the McLarens. The clause wasn't just a hypothetical, it was a tangible, immediate threat. It transformed Verstappen's future from a certainty into a question mark, and it gave him immense leverage. And waiting in the wings was Mercedes. Team principal Toto Wolff openly confirmed he was having conversations with Verstappen about a drive. This wasn't just paddock gossip, it was a public declaration of interest from a rival powerhouse. The speculation was further fueled by reports of Verstappen and Wolff's yachts being spotted in close proximity off the coast of Italy. While Verstappen publicly dismissed the rumours as people who just liked to stir the pot, his actions, or rather, his inaction, spoke volumes. A definitive early denial would have squashed the story. Instead, his calculated ambiguity kept the speculation alive. It created a credible alternative, a powerful bargaining chip. This wasn't just a driver exploring his options. This was a strategic maneuver designed to exert maximum pressure on a Red Bull hierarchy that was already showing signs of fracture. Chapter 2. The Downfall of a Leader. Christian Horner's position at Red Bull, once seemingly untouchable, had been systematically weakened over the preceding year. It was a death by 1,000 cuts. The first blow came in December 2023, with allegations of inappropriate and controlling behavior from a female employee. Although an internal investigation cleared him, the scandal refused to die. An anonymous leak of documents, allegedly containing sexually suggestive messages, created a media frenzy and severely damaged his authority. This vulnerability exposed and exacerbated a pre-existing internal power struggle. Reports pointed to a long-standing and escalating conflict between Christian and senior advisor Helmut Marko. And crucially, the Thai family, the majority owners of the Red Bull empire who had initially supported him, reportedly saw their support fade away. His alleged desire for overall control had put him at odds with other powerful factions. Then came the exodus. The most significant departure was that of legendary designer Adrian Newey, who explicitly linked his decision to leave to the Horner scandal and internal politics. The loss of the man who had designed their championship-winning cars was a profound vote of no confidence from the technical heart of the team. The official reason for Horner's dismissal was underwhelming performance, and while the team had experienced a dip in form with McLaren surging ahead, this explanation seems more like a convenient, publicly palatable narrative than the whole truth. As Helmut Marko himself hinted, there were various factors at play. Horner's position was not just threatened, it was crumbling from multiple directions. Chapter 3. The Verstappen Ultimatum. While the team principal's position was already precarious, the actions of Team Verstappen appear to have been the final decisive blow. Max's father, Jos Verstappen, a notoriously outspoken figure, had publicly called for Christian's head back in March 2024, warning that Red Bull was in danger of being torn apart if he remained. This was an unprecedented public condemnation from the father of the team's star driver. Just days before Horner's sacking, Jos was reportedly seen in a heated exchange with him at the British Grand Prix. Veteran F1 reporter Martin Brundle went further, claiming that Team Verstappen had been lobbing in hand grenades for quite some months now, briefing journalists and running a sustained campaign to undermine Horner. Brundle stated unequivocally that they played a key role in his exit. But the most explosive claim came from a German media report that Verstappen's entourage had issued a direct ultimatum. If Red Bull wanted to keep their champion, they had to remove or significantly reduce Christian's power. This is the heart of the theory. The flirtation with Mercedes wasn't just a flirtation, it was the leverage that made the ultimatum credible. With a performance clause active and a seat at a rival top team seemingly on the table, the threat of Max leaving was very real. This aligned perfectly with the interests of other factions within Red Bull who already wanted Horner gone. As Martin Brundle astutely observed, Red Bull had made the mistake of allowing itself to become a one-driver team where the tails wagged the dog for quite a long time. Their over-reliance on Verstappen's generational talent had inadvertently bestowed immense power upon him and his camp. When the internal conflicts erupted, that power was wielded to force a choice. Chapter 4. Connecting the dots. When you lay out the timeline, the connections are hard to ignore. The scandal weakens Horner, the internal power struggles fester. Key personnel, like Newey, abandon ship. The team's on-track performance dips, activating Verstappen's exit clause. Mercedes makes a public approach, and then an ultimatum is reportedly delivered. Days later, Horner is gone. Less than a month after that, Verstappen publicly commits his future to Red Bull. It's a sequence of events that strongly suggests a highly coordinated and deliberate strategy. While Verstappen himself played the diplomat in public, his camp appeared to be waging a calculated war behind the scenes. So, did Verstappen's actions cause Horner's sacking? Not solely. Horner's position was already severely compromised by a multitude of other factors, but the evidence strongly suggests that the Verstappen camp played a decisive and instrumental role. They provided the critical external leverage at the moment of maximum internal vulnerability. They transformed an internal power struggle into an unavoidable choice for the ownership, their embattled team principal, or their indispensable four-time world champion driver. Chapter 5. A new balance of power. The dismissal of Christian Horner was the culmination of a systemic breakdown at Red Bull Racing. It was a story of a leader whose authority was eroded by scandal, whose position was challenged by internal rivals, and whose team was beginning to falter on the track. But it was also a story of power, the power of a singular, generational talent to dictate the terms of his own environment. Max Verstappen's camp, by expertly leveraging his contractual position and the credible threat of a move to Mercedes, appears to have forced the hand of one of the most powerful organizations in motorsport. This saga serves as a fascinating case study in the evolving power dynamics of modern Formula One. It highlights how a team's over-reliance on a single star driver can create a structural vulnerability, where the tail can, and sometimes does, wag the dog. The king is gone, but the champion remains. And the balance of power at Red Bull Racing has been irrevocably shifted. Do you believe that the public flirtation of Verstappen with Mercedes was a calculated plot to force Red Bull to choose between him and Christian? This is Front Lockout, signing off.